Okay, I think we're live. So hello, everybody, and welcome to the September 8th, 2023 meeting of the Node.js Node-API Working Group. Let me share my screen and go to our milestone. That would be API something. There it is. Milestones 11 and share this guy. What the there we are. And share screen. Okie pokey. So let's see. Drive towards full coverage. I don't think we've had anything since last week. I don't know. Jack is working on this one, I think. But I don't think there's been any news. Non-C language bindings. Do we have any new ones? Let's go to the bottom of this guy.
Probably not.
There we go. Okay, no, looks like not. Well, I mean, there's only so many programming languages. Okay, debug testing. This one's to Michael. And he's not here. So stale issues. Let's see. We've made any progress on stale issues. Oh, yes, Control N. That's the thing. Okay, 1140. Okay, so we've got so this one hinges on the pure stuff. Let's see any others. Okay.
Well,
yeah, you can talk to this one.
Yeah, I believe the site is failing, and we previously talked about that we are copying files.
Oh yeah.
For the test. So I have a separate PR that converting the. I posted the link in the chat. The new PR is converting the common test source files to header only, so that we don't have to compile.
Oh, that's a great idea. Okay.
Common source.
Okay, that's a great idea.
Target, yeah, right. So we don't have to copy that every time for each topic.
Okay, that's a great idea. Hello. You 49515. It's just faster to just go like this. I also did that because it wasn't formatting.
We didn't formatting the common files.
Wait a minute. Okay, okay, let me see. Where is this test common H, right? Hey, where did it go?
Yeah, it's common H. I believe it's in the bottom of the list.
Okay.
Or probably, yeah, search.
Yeah, but it just gives me all the things on the right-hand side. Come on. Oh, wait a minute. There. I think you should be able to jump to it. How do there was once a way to jump to a certain file. Oh, file filter. Let's get rid of all of these.
Yeah,
there we go. Aha, nice. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, and then you have the common inline. Okay, that's a great idea. Okay, and then and then they're it's not mentioned in the JIP, right? It's just mentioned in the C.
Yeah, right. So that well, even So some targets might have a couple of files, things this inline, so it doesn't bother to include this inline function twice.
Cool. Well, what about the entry point?
Its engine point doesn't define any functions. It's just declare the init function.
Oh, okay.
So, right.
Okay. All right. Okay, this is great. Cool. All right. So yeah, this needs to merge. Okie dokie. Okay, let's see. Wait, 1114. Oh, I think.
Yeah, still didn't do progress there.
Which one is this? Okay.
Yeah, we do have a sample for plain C API, and what's missing right now, a sample for C++ API. But lately, working on GSI, I think like what with the right kind of solution here would be actually add additional API as the developer asks in this issue, because we have significant performance implementation issues on Hermes for this API.
Oh, okay.
Because technically my advice here was like, oh, we have a JS proxy, so pretty much this functionality can be done on top of JS proxy. But in reality, for example, in Hermes, JS proxy is not optimized. So implementation of a GSI host object on top of Node.API on top of JS proxy, compared with GSI implementation host object directly on top of Hermes, it's at least 10 times slower. It's perfectly horrible. So
okay, got
I
it.
believe we must add API here.
Okay.
And
all right.
I want to propose it soon. Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Okie dokie. I think that's it for the stale issues. All right. So that's that. Okay, so now let's see the Node.js API issues. They can be found by doing this. Okay, are these new? Okay, well, this one. Okay. There's no. Huh. This is not ideal. This is probably a static. Okay. Oh, and it's Electron. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I think we can close this one. I just need to log in. Just a sec. Sorry about that. For some reason, I wasn't logged in. What? Oh, why are you doing this? I can't see the code. Oh, there we go. Okie dokie. So I think we can close this one. Okay. So, okay. So there's been no new issues, just this one. Yeah, so let me talk about this one a little bit. In fact, I think I have it open. If not, let me go to GitHub. That's it. And then 42651 finalizers. Yeah, so this one. So I my goal was to get like basically get compilation to fail if you're trying to pass, or if you're trying to call a pure API from a non-pure API, or from a finalizer, right? And so I tried to do it in Node add-on API by wrapping the entire Node API and like having templates for each API. But then I realized that Node add-on API is designed to be interoperable with core. So people can just pass in an API value and that's it. Or, they can just pass in a raw NAPI environment and we cannot tell whether it's pure or not anymore. So we cannot do this at the Node add-on API level. And so what I did was this here. Where is it? Source, this one. I think this is the key. So I defined a new type called Node-API pure env, which is basically a const version of a regular NAPI env. And of course, if it's not experimental, then it's defined the same way as NAPI env. And so what this does is if you say that the pure APIs accept a pure env and the non-pure APIs accept a regular env, then if you define it as const, then if you call a pure API from a regular context where you have an NAPI env available, you can pass a non-const NAPI env into a const NAPI env. So the pure APIs will work when you have an NAPI env available, but they will not work they will also work if you just have a pure env. But the non-pure ones, they require an NAPI env. So if all you have is a pure env, if you try to pass that into a pure API, it'll give you at least a warning if you have warnings turned on. And in C++, I think it gives you an error because you can't pass a non-const into a const. And so we do this, and then we define a pure finalizer as accepting a pure environment rather than a regular environment. And the binary signature is still the same. And in fact, this typing only exists in the headers. So the implementation just casts everything back to like NAPI finalize and NAPI env, because we're already doing the right thing inside the implementation. We don't actually need to move these inside. And so with these two things, you can then basically just define all of these as being an API, Node API pure finalize everywhere. And the same thing goes for where are you? So yeah, get instance data accepts a pure env, and then there's a bunch more in Node API H. This is the majority of them actually that accept a pure env. So that's basically it. The rest is just fixing up the unit tests and stuff. So what do you think about that? Do you think this would work?
Like first impressions feels a bit hacky, just differentiate by constness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the reason why I went with const and non-const is that we don't have inheritance in C, right? Like normally you would have the pure env be I think the superclass, and the regular env be the subclass, and then you would pass in like these APIs, they would require either the pure env or they would require the regular env, right? That's how you would normally do it. But in C we don't have inheritance, right? And so the only thing we have is that is because like the only feature of inheritance that we need is, if it's a pure env, you can pass in either a pure env or a regular env. If it's a regular env, you can only pass in a regular env. You cannot pass in a pure env, right? So you achieve this with inheritance if you require the superclass in one case, which means you can supply the superclass and you can supply the subclass. And if you require the subclass and you only have the superclass, then you can't call the function, right? But the only thing in C that gives us this kind of semantics is const versus non-const. The only other
I was looking in the source code, I think somewhere in the Apple source code. Actually, I remember it was source code for Grand Central Dispatch GCD, and they also implement some kind of inheritance there, and they're using a very interesting trick with defining unions. But I think this trick only works on non-MSVC compiler.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Like I tested this on Clang on Mac, and that's it. So hopefully this works on all compilers, and they will complain, and hopefully we have all the right C flags so that things actually fail. But yeah, I don't know if you know a better trick that gives us this kind of inheritance-like behavior, then I would be very happy to change this to that. But this is the only one I could think of in C that gives us that. An interesting observation though is if like we do this, right? Type def const blah blah blah, right? If I replace this with NAPI env, like if I just instead of copying this, I just put this here, then it doesn't fail anymore. It's as if the constness doesn't. It's as if this didn't make any difference. That was very strange. So for example, let's see here in Viet API. Okay, so see, you have to do a const cast here for this NAPI so that you can keep using the rest of the function, and that's fine because internally we do the right things, right? So it doesn't matter that we do the const cast, and because it's not. The constness here doesn't mean that we're not going to change it. It means that we need this inheritance behavior. So that's why the const cast. If you remove this const cast, right, then it will fail to compile. Of course, right? Because you can't do it. That's why you need the const cast. But if you change the definition here to put NAPI env here instead of struct NAPI env star, then it no longer fails to compile if you don't do the const cast. So I don't know if that's a Clang compiler bug or peculiarity or whatever, but it basically takes away the usefulness of having this definition entirely, at least on my compiler. So that was kind of weird. And so because normally I don't want to use this expression twice, so that if we change the definition of struct NAPI env, if we change the definition of NAPI env, you want to propagate that definition here without having to copy it, right? But if you do, then this const imposition doesn't impose anymore, at least on my compiler. So that was weird. Anyway, so this is what I have. Please think about it. If we can do something better here, then I would love that. Because like
this is a great solution, and maybe it's if you like, it's much cheaper than what I was thinking about using these unions.
Yeah, I was thinking about unions too, but correct me if I'm wrong. The problem with unions is that you have to refer to the member, right? So like if Node.API pure env were a union of an env and something else, and then env itself is just env, then you have to say env dot something, right? That's what turned me off. But the truth is I didn't try unions. I just
idea that if you have some kind of union, you can just provide value and it can become somehow initialized. It's a trick only for GCC and Clang. It would not work in MSVC. I tried it, but in MSVC you have to provide some special C++ specific code, which will do with casting.
Okay.
The idea is that they like instead of using these constants like you do here, we're doing some like in C++, you can define the way kind of this implicit conversion between types, if you like.
Yeah. But remember, there's one other requirement, right? These header files, they have to be able to compile with a C compiler, right? Because we don't require C++ for add-ons. So in fact, a lot of our tests are just binding.c, right? So that would use a C compiler to compile this. So we can't use anything that's C++ in here, right?
Yeah, we need to verify that this trick works on MSVC.
Yeah.
Because MSVC traditionally does not provide good C compiler. They do C++, but don't C. Like I often in a trap that I have my code, like I have a C code, like test code. It runs fine on MSVC, but then I kind of submit this code. It kind of fails on other platforms, on Linux and Mac, just because they went through a C compilation.
Okay. That's a great point. Okay, so I think what I can probably do is I don't know, maybe make a PR against your branch or something like that. And
what I can do, if you can share with me your branch, I can just simply take your code and try to compile on my machine.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So this is the branch. Where's the branch? Come on. There. Okay, so let me paste that into the chat. There you go. Yeah, I mean, this is basically your branch with one commit on top. So
okay. Yeah.
So that's it. Okay, cool. So that's what I had on that. Let's see.
But it's a great idea. I just want to confirm that.
I also need to check because, like, you know, we also have like AIX and all kinds of other environments in which are not GCC and not Clang, I think. So I want to run in those environments as well. Anywho, let's see. That was where was this? Oh, here it was. Okay, so all right. Okay, so that was in the Node.js API. Okay, so let's go to the Node repo.
Oh, you need to see. Oh, yeah.
Sorry?
It's okay. Sorry.
No, not is issue. We don't. We also want PRs. Okay. Okay, right. This one, we just talked about that one. Okay, this one, let's see. Okay, this one looks good.
We just need second sign off, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
well, actually, we don't technically because it's been 2 weeks.
Okay.
So
yeah, but there is brilliant. I believe since in this particular CPR, we are facilitating the sharing source files between targets. So it better be landed after we have converting the common source files into header.
oh, I see. Okay. That was 29515, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me make a comment about that. I just said it. Okay, there it is, 49515. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's go back. Okay, so that was that one. Okay, this one, I remember This one is, they sort of have a resolution, I think, at the end. Yeah, so multiple ends in a single thread. Yeah, this should normally be okay, but yeah, I haven't really dug into it. Have any of you taken a more in-depth look at this one?
This seems to be related to election about the multiple environments in single process. So it might need to set up a election environment, but I don't have one.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, no worries. Okie dokie, so let's see. Okay, okay, so this one. Okay, this one has been going on. What's the latest on this one? Have we had any? We haven't had anything else. Okay, so okay, I need to read this in more depth to answer this question. Hopefully, I can. Okay, let's see. Okay, that was that one. Okay, how are we doing on this one? So, how's this one going?
This seems to be the one that set fails for the copied source files too.
Ah, okay, so this one also needs that. Okay, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I don't know what we did about this one. There was a lot of material here. I remember that one. Okay. Well, I don't know. It's that's quite a. This circle has quite a large radius.
Well, since this person doesn't provide too much material, so I suppose we'll better wait for their submission.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll ping them. Oh well, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okie dokie. Okay. Oh, not this one. Oh, I think it was this one. Okay, I think we're going pretty far back. So let's see. Where was that? Wait a second. I need to go back to the milestone. Okay, so I think we've burned pretty far down. So let's see. Node. I don't know if we've had any news. Go to npm or yeah, npm.js.
Do you know if it will be any Node API related presentation during OpenJS World?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. I haven't checked. But you know, Vladimir, I was just thinking if we land the pure finalizers, then I think it would probably be a good idea to work them through Node add-on API and then release Node API version 10, because I think this would fix a lot of people's bugs, or at least give them a chance to fix a lot of bugs, because we've had like at least 3 or 4 issues where things weren't getting freed and on the native side, and there were like there were memory leaks that would not have happened had we had pure finalizers, and I think it's a pretty important feature to have. But it'll be fun if we do this const thing. It'll be fun working this through Node add-on API, I think, because we're going to have so many places where we need to fix the compilation. But anyway, I think it would be worth putting out Node API 10 when we're done this work. What do you think?
Would be nice. Yeah. Is there any kind of significant changes required from this PR? Because from my perspective, I was mostly waiting on feedback, right? On the review.
Yeah. So I have a few questions there. Okay, why don't we talk about it? Yeah, maybe you can explain a few.
I can answer them offline if you don't want to do it now.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we don't have anything else as far as I can tell on the milestone. So, if you want to stick around and talk about it, that's
okay,
cool.
Okay, well, let's do it, because we're talking about like finishing up, but from my perspective, it's mostly I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
I need review from you folks and just to.
Yeah, it's mostly good. The only questions I had, let's see here. Yeah, this is just a small nit. Like, we don't really need this anymore because we are accessing, well, not this, but we are kind of accessing it afterwards. So this comment may have become irrelevant, but I'm not sure. I just wanted to leave a comment there just to be, so you can double check and
Okay.
maybe say like, no, it's still relevant, or just get rid of it otherwise. Then let's see this one. This is just, I don't know, this is probably just a little wording thing, so that's not important. Yeah, this here, if you could reuse this GC until, I don't know if you can, but maybe you can reuse this GC until, and then like that would be like a deterministic sort of condition for finishing the loop, rather than just doing it 10 times and then hoping that it worked. I don't know, maybe take a look and see if that's possible, because we do have this utility and we are using this in other tests.
Okay.
The other thing,
I tried it, but it had some issues, but yeah, I'll try it again. Okay.
Oh, okay, so you tried it already. Okay, I see. Okay, yeah, I mean, if it has problems, then I maybe just leave a comment saying GC until doesn't work here because, and then
Okay.
just mention the reason.
I'll try again. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
Oh
yeah, okay, yeah. So this is pretty clear. I understand why you're doing it the way you're doing it. But maybe just leave a comment, because we have this must call thing, but I understand that must call is no good here, because you want to check whether it was called or not called right after. You don't want to wait till the end of the process, because then it might have been called for a different reason. And so maybe just leave a short comment saying that why must call is no good here and cannot be used. And then, yeah, okay. Yeah, this is just me talking about, being non-fatal. And so we've settled that. Okay, so then this one, I'm not so sure. When you examined V8 and you looked at the things that cause a crash, if you try to use it during GC, right? Do these cause crashes? Because for doing wrap and unwrap, we set a private property on the object, right? And I don't know enough about V8 to know whether setting private properties causes the same kind of state changes that are incompatible with being in the middle of a GC cycle that setting regular properties has. So if it does it modify the state of an object in such a way that the GC cycle might crash? Because if it does, then I think we need to check GC access also from wrap and from unwrap, because they call these methods in V8. So this is a bit more substantial question. Oh, and they also call it is object. So, you know, I think is object is already protected by check GC access, and so I think by transitivity we also have to protect wrap and unwrap. But I'm not 100% sure, so that's why this was a question to you.
Yeah, I looked at this code originally. I think it's at some point this functions call something else, and we checking it. So I just didn't want to have double check. But I'll verify.
Okay, yeah, because if we do this, if we add the check GC access, then I also need to change my follow-up PR to add an API pure environment to wrap and unwrap, and then it's probably going to trickle down into the unit tests and all that. Okay, and so these
can we go back a second? I have a related question. Like I'm playing with some other implementation, and one of the kind of most inefficient code what we shown in perf analysis was around this NAPI unwrap. So we tried to replace using private properties with private fields. We saw some mixed results. Like we saw on Apple platforms, perf increase was almost twice faster.
Nice.
But on MSVC, like on Windows, it was pretty much the same perf, or maybe even a bit worse. I don't know. It's like
so when you say private fields, which API is that?
So technically in V8 there are two ways to define to have all these different private things. Like one of them is private properties, like what we use today. Another one, private fields. I think you have to allocate some special slots, and you can access with private slots.
Yes, you're talking about like in the function template, right? You say that it has like two private fields, right? Or one or two or however. Yeah, okay. So we used to do that, and I'm trying to remember why we stopped doing that. Maybe if I go through the Git history, but I think one of the go
if
ahead.
I recall correctly, the function template has a restriction that the object has to be created from the function template, which means it has an inheritance chain that you cannot change, and you cannot give it a object created from elsewhere, so that you cannot assign a private field to an arbitrary object. So that's a great restriction that I can see from the function template.
Oh, that's right. Yes. So, okay, right. Yeah. So with the way an API wrap is implemented now, you can give it a plain JavaScript object, and you can attach native data to it. If you use a private field, then the object has to be created from using an API defined class, because that calls the function template, which defines the field. So yes, yeah, Chengzhuang, you're absolutely right. That's why we switched to private properties, so that you can attach native data to stuff coming in from JavaScript rather than stuff that is created using Node.API, right? Yeah, so that's where that came from.
Yeah, I think in implementation, I was able to test if we have one versus another. So I think the idea is that if we creating using function template, we can use optimized fields, and if we otherwise we can drop back to private properties.
I see. Okay, yeah. So that's not bad. Yeah. Okay. So we add like a branch saying, oh, you want to wrap this object? Well, let me check if this object was created using a function template that we own. And oh, yes, it was. Great. Okay, then let's add a private field. Let's add the wrapper using a private field rather than a private property. Is that what you mean?
Yes. So technically, to have I was able to implement some condition. Everything kind of fine. The question, like we have this benchmark tests, And this is what I added this benchmark test, and that's why I saw like MSVC. I didn't see any good results, but another developer reported pretty good results on Apple M2 computer.
Cool.
So I was wondering, are we running these benchmarks as a part of our CI or something?
No. Yeah, we were talking about that, but you can't run them in any sort of automated fashion, because they literally, if you were to run all of them, it would literally take days to run them every time. Like a single run would take days. And so it's kind of, and then if you select, then okay, which ones do you select? Because I mean, why do you have the rest of them if you never run them, you know? So yeah, we talked about that a little bit, but basically I think it's up to the individual contributor to keep in mind that things may have performance implications. And if they do, then it's up to them to basically run the benchmarks locally and see, you know, did I just destroy the performance of this thing that I'm trying to improve? You know, so they're kind of developer tools more than they are sort of verifications, like automated verifications, because it's very hard to run all those benchmarks on any sort of infrastructure automatically. I think that was the conclusion. So yeah, I like whenever I change stuff like that, I tend to either add or run benchmarks if they're already there. But yeah, it's up to the individual, I think, to run the appropriate benchmarks and just, you know, when you submit the PR, you're like, okay, so this is the change I made, and here is the benchmark result showing that I did not just destroy the performance, or lo and behold, I improved the performance, you know. so that's it's sort of ad hoc.
Okay. Yeah, let's continue. Sorry. Thank you for this sidetrack a bit. Like,
okay, but that's a good idea. If we can pursue that, that would be good, because then for our stuff we just reserve a field for this. Yeah, okay, well, wait a minute, there might be another problem. Vladimir, remind me, if you do reserve a field, all the objects, you don't need a function template to get access to that field, right? You just call this, you know, get me the value of this field, or set the value of this field, and you call it on the object, and the API will fail if it's the wrong kind of object and it doesn't have that kind of field, right?
Right. I don't remember details. I was doing it a couple months ago.
I think so. In which case there could be another problem. It's pretty corner of a case, but it's not entirely unthinkable, which is that we create one of these objects derived from one of these function templates, and we set the native data. Then this object is passed to another native add-on, which perhaps mistakenly sets some other native data into the same field. And then you have this problem where, you know, it comes back to the native add-on that created the object, and now it's a pointer, yes, but it's a pointer to something completely unexpected, you know? So there's this sort of namespace clash that is possible with private fields that is not possible with private properties, because all the private properties are unique, and the key is basically a symbol that is local to the add-on. So there's never a chance that you're going to retrieve the wrong private property. Whereas with the fields, one add-on can overwrite another add-on's fields. So that's also kind of a very, very small risk that is possible with fields and not with properties.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah. Okay, so then the last thing. Oh yeah, this is
just typo here, I guess. Like expect it to be the same.
Oh yeah. Oh. Okay. So
just typo. Yeah, it was good.
Oh yeah. Okay, no problem. Okay.
I'll fix it. It's a good catch.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just one word missing. That's cool. Okay. That was it. So
need to protect the following with check. Get all property names. Get all property names. Get new target. They will all somehow like been protected. I'll double check.
Okay.
It's kind of I really wish like because like you said, you read it from the code and you see some of them protected, some of them not. But one of the reasons like we're using some other macros and this check is already there, so we can implement double check.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. I see. So you're saying that basically, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I know what you're saying. So this, especially this NaPi property names, I think this one ends up calling like another API which has the check, right? If I remember correctly.
No, I think it should use some kind of macro, something.
Let's just check.
Could you open it up?
All right. Let's see.
Yeah, we could have some kind of system. We can simply verify that all these functions in the end have this verification.
Yeah.
I
agree.
couldn't come up with some test which could do it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So
get all property names. You see, we have an API preamble.
yeah.
So we do check inside of this preamble, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Okay. Yeah, and okay, so preamble contains the check. Okay, got it.
Because
right.
any other methods which don't have preamble, I had to add the explicit.
Yes. Okay. So all the ones that have preamble are automatically checked. Okay, so get new target is probably the same. Well, no.
Okay, this one does not have it.
Yeah. Okay, but it's just this one. This one I think is a good reason why, because it just gets stuff from info.
Yeah, because info is a struct. We don't have any access to V8 kind of GC control data structures. It's our own struct at this point. Right? Because info, we pass in info as an input parameter here, right? We're just doing casting here.
Yeah, but we have the V8 callback info, right? And I think we're getting this from V8 callback info.
Oh, you're saying when we call this get new target.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, good catch. Yes.
Okay. So let's see.
So it's legit.
Yeah. How do we? Can I reply to this? Okay.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, I think it was wrong logic on my side. Like I was thinking it's struct and
yeah, it calls into V8. I forget what it is called back into or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I mean, it may still be safe because the callback info is already generated, and so unless it like dereferences a persistent or something like that, it might be okay. But yeah, I think better safe than sorry, because I think if we, and correct me if I'm wrong, in terms of like API policy, right? If we are overly strict and we crash when we shouldn't, and then later on we relax the requirements, I think that's okay, because everybody crashed and so they stopped using it, and so now if they start using it again and they don't crash, they're okay, right? So I don't think we'll break anybody if later on we make things less strict, right? Okay. If we make things more strict, then yes, we're going to be breaking people. But if we make things less strict later, I think we're okay, right? So it's better to restrict more APIs now and be more paranoid now, and then later remove the restriction if we get a bug saying, why are you crashing? You shouldn't be crashing here. This is fine. I think I got the right picture, but I'm not sure. Can you please confirm that I'm not completely bonkers?
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, because technically, if we don't crash ourselves, V8 will crash for us. The only difference that when we crash, we can potentially provide nice message saying
exactly, yeah.
Whereas like then V8 crashes, like it obviously says like, oh, you accessing some GC controlled data, blah blah blah, but it may be not clear.
Yeah.
What exactly reason? But in our error message was saying like, oh, by the way, this function you should not call it under this context, and please use this technique to work around it. So it's
Yeah.
not much difference, but we'll crash any case. Like either we crash from our code or crash from V8 code.
Yeah.
Crash is imminent. Imminent.
Right. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if we crash from our code, because we put the check there, even though it was not needed, right? Because V8 would not have crashed. Then if we remove the check later on, because somebody points out that no, V8 would not crash, so please remove this check, that's okay. We're not breaking anybody that way, because they've been crashing so far unnecessarily, but still they've been crashing. So they presumably found a workaround, right? And now if it no longer crashes, their workaround still works. So they're fine either way. So I think...
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think we also need to think about Node.API implementation of other JavaScript engines. So like you said, we need to think in terms of if this specific operation potentially, maybe not in V8 case, but maybe another JavaScript engine may require some access to GC state. So we should be probably more.
Yes, good point.
Yeah,
exactly. We should be the paranoid ones, right? Yeah, okay, that's fair. Okay. All right, okay. So that was it for this PR. And I think we're done. So if either you or Chengzhong have another topic, then please bring it up. Otherwise, I think we can close out for today.
No, I don't have any other topics.
Okay. All right, cool. Vladimir, you as well? All good for the week?
Yes. I'll kind of try to finish up the rest of the stuff as soon as possible.
Cool. All right. Okay. Thank you all. Talk to you all on GitHub and next week.
Thank you.
Bye.